College football fans, the championship is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook is making sure you can throw down on the epic showdown for a shot at big bucks. New customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting $5 on the championship game.
No SEC schools in the championship is wild, but it should be a fun one. On DraftKings right now, Michigan is a 4.5-point favorite, and the over-under is set at 55.5.
Download the app now and use code Jenkins, Jenkins. New customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on college football. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code Jenkins. The crown is yours. Welcome to Jenkins and Jonez on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Thursday, January 11th, and we've got all kinds of great, super fun stuff to make fun of today. Very excited for today's show. As always, Jenkins and Jonez, hosted by LeJethro Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What's up, Bubbas?
Dragonfly Jones, a.k.a. Tyler.
Hey, everybody, have a good.
I'm Cardi B, a.k.a. Mike.
Motherfucking Mike.
And we are produced by the lovely and talented Jackson Saffon.
What's up?
All right. Before we get into it, I was as my friend would say, I was remiss in in not discussing on the last episode that John and Jackson and I were all the recipients of our very own Tyler's unbelievable form of loving his friends is that he sent us his annual meat box TM. he grilled up a bunch of delicious shit all day and then sent it to us overnight with dry ice packs, which I would literally in 1,000 years of living on Earth, it would never occur to me that was even possible. And I believe all three of us have now finished the meat boxes. So a round of applause for Tyler. Tyler, thank you very much. Bravo.
Anything for you guys. Love you, boys.
Special stuff.
Love you too, man.
That's the best, bro. It's truly the best. And I tell everyone I can, like, you have no idea what I'm gonna go home and eat for lunch today. Like
some good old smoked Virginia meats there, Bubba.
People were DMing me like, what can I do to get into this? they want a part of the meat box. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. You know what I mean? You can't even pay your way for this. You know what I mean?
Secret society.
You feel me? You feel me? I smacked my shit in like 12 hours. Y'all know, bro. 0 bars. I think the chips were left. I had half a bag of chips.
Good.
Yeah, I had like half a bag of chips, but the 0 bars.
How y'all
were
like
gone.
those chips, man? Like I told you, my favorite chips on the fucking planet.
They're good. They're very salty, but they're good.
Yes.
Very
fried in
potato. You can
fat,
taste
bro.
the potato. You can tell that they were like, you know what I mean?
the chips are whooping my ass. I've been eating too healthy. The chips were the alarm signal to me that I need to bring it back to moderation because I was eating too healthy. 'Cause it was actually the chips.
No.
I went through like half the bag of chips and I was like, woo. Woo.
The Grandma Utz chips for those listening, by the way.
Yeah,
My
Grandma
favorite fucking
Utz chips.
on
They
the
got
planet.
lard on the ingredients list twice. That's how fucking
Oh,
delicious
really?
they are.
No, they are fried in lard, bro. Potatoes
That's
fried in pork fat. Like, goddamn. Come on. You can't
But
beat that.
that's how healthy Mike's been, where he's looking at.
Yeah.
Tyler told us. I do not try.
Okay,
I swear to God, I'm not looking at the ingredients.
Took a bite and looked at the ingredients like, woo.
No, the ingredients on it are just potatoes, lard, salt, and like 2 preservatives. That's it, dog.
Okay,
That's it. So, like,
Yeah, no, that's why I looked at it.
they
'Cause
kept it simple.
Tyler was like, he did the what ice cream was it? One of the ice creams used to be, it's just vanilla, milk, and chocolate, and that's it. Yeah, he gave us that one, and I was like, oh, that's it. Literally, it's just potatoes, lard, and salt.
But you can taste that it's like an actual potato. Most potato chips, I don't think, unless it said potato chips, I wouldn't know that chips came from potatoes. You know what I mean? Like, I can tell this
They're
chip
their own
came
genre.
from a potato. You feel me? It feels
Like,
potato-like.
Right, like Ruffles are like you would never draw a connection
Ruffles.
between Ruffles and potatoes.
Ruffles is a chip. It's not a potato chip. Like,
Right.
these Utz are a potato chip. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Important distinction.
and the 0 bars went down quick, and then Tyler.
I
just
have
really-
never heard of a 0 bar.
This was a
Unfortunate.
conversation on the pod that we were talking
we've
about best
talked about
candies, and they said a 0 bar. I said the same thing. Like, I'm a candy connoisseur, if you will, and I had never even heard of it. And it's made by Hershey too. Like it's
Hershey,
regional.
and it's regional. It's only Southern.
Yeah.
And like I said, that is my favorite candy bar in the world, and I do not know why Hershey doesn't take that shit nationwide, bro. They got a hit on their hands there. They're just sitting on it.
Right. Rodgers was like, yo, let me get one of them 0 bars. Like, one of them went to her. Like, she was like, before she texted me that. Like, she saw the video, text me. One of those 0 bars is mine.
John did an unboxing video, which I need to get the ring light out and the tripod next year. Really, like film myself picking it up film myself making happy fingers and picking it up from the porch. Film myself walking into the house. Film myself opening it. You know, I'm gonna do the whole video next year.
Mike's a TikToker now. Mike's a TikToker.
There we go. Put that on YouTube too. It might go crazy.
Real.
You know,
I feel very honored to be part of the distribution list. I took two years of full time producing this podcast, spending 3 days a week with the guys. After the first year, I was not on the list, which was fair, understandable, and fair.
You had to earn your keep, man.
After year 2, I got on the list, and this is now.
I
year
think
3,
once the page follows you, you know what I mean? You got the follow this year, you got the meats, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they didn't respect me for a year, but
yeah. I'll be honest, I thought it was a year early for the meat box.
I think the first one probably was a year early. This year probably would have been the appropriate time. Tyler
you said you didn't deserve the meats.
I think it's next year. I think it's 2025 was the.
You think I was 2 years too early?
Yeah,
I got it last year too.
Yeah, no, I think next year should have been.
You moved a little too quickly with his development. He should have been on the bench a little more for some more reps.
Yeah,
I'm on it.
But it's your clubhouse, bro. I'm not. I can't be the bouncer at the door of your treehouse.
That's so
well, I trust Jackson. I'm giving him the minutes. He's cracked the starting rotation.
You told that minute he didn't deserve the meat bag, dog. He said, to be honest, I think it was a year early, but I'm happy for you.
Mike's over here counting my pockets.
Right. Yeah. Some of us had to work real hard, Jackson. I mean, some of us were on Patreon when John was editing the podcast himself, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
You've been compensated to work on this podcast the whole time you've been working on it. You know what I mean?
That is true. That's what the money is for.
Man.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. But it is funny because we do get I don't usually read it because it's the same joke every time. But almost every time we do a mailbag, someone emails and says, "How much money I will give you any amount of money to get on."
It's not about the money. That's what they don't understand. I don't have friends. I have family.
You don't get the Dom Toretto meat box.
Right.
Oh shit! All right. I was gonna go into what you grill, but you know what? I feel like we probably tortured people enough with talking about food they can't eat.
No. We can rub some more salt in the wounds.
This is a year of hate, my nigga. You forgot?
Yeah, it was some smoked pork shoulder. Jerk chicken and with the jerk sauce that I get from my favorite Jamaican spot in the city, of authentic jerk sauce on that shit. It was sausage, pork chops, and lamb chops. So yeah, smorgasbord. If you
didn't
will.
just rub
A
salt on that one. You rubbed
smorgasbord
the whole
indeed.
dry brine on that one.
Right, a whole dry rub in that motherfucker.
That sounds good, bro.
Yeah.
My favorite thing to do is every time Tyler says every time Tyler sends the meat is in the air text, I go to the store and get King's Hawaiian sweet rolls, and I just like all the pork shoulders for me, and I go through a whole 12-pack of the sweet rolls.
Make some little sliders and shit. I see the vision.
But the mix of the taste on the sweet roll with the smoke of the pork shoulder is like. I literally will be like, we'll be sitting here in August. I'll be at like one of Vinny's fall ball games, and I'll be like, 5 months till pork shoulder and sweet rolls. I swear to God.
You a real eater, nigga.
It is
you a real eater.
Got it locked up on the calendar.
I
Real
respect
eater
you,
hours,
bro.
right?
Bro, respect. Dude.
That's why pork is the best meat to smoke, in my opinion, because it just absorbs the smoke better than any other meat. It absorbs flavors better than any other meat. Like, you're not ever going to make a rub for any type of beef that's half brown sugar, right? That's going to be fucking disgusting. You don't put that on beef, but with pork, can't lose, bro.
You could taste the emotions you had when cooking it, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like love.
Cooked with love.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, food is love, my nigga.
Appreciate that shit.
All right. Jackson, you probably log off. Let's talk about Draymond Green. obviously, Draymond's back. Very excited that he's signed the multi-year extension with the volume. Glad that he's going to be back on the court soon. All that good stuff. But the quote that everyone really seized on from his podcast about the return was that he had contemplated retirement and that Adam Silver had talked him out of it. I've listened to the whole pod, Jackson. Great job. But I do feel like people are like slightly taking the quote out of context. But it is also a truly nuts thing to say when like literally the only thing anyone has asked you to do is stop like punching and stomping on people. So what was your guys' thought too? Obviously Twitter had a fucking field day with that shit. What was your guys' thoughts about Draymond's comments about, it all being maybe a little bit too much for him?
Twitter had a blast with that shit. But, like you said, in the whole context of it, I can see the frustration with Draymond. Maybe he's like, maybe this sport brings out a side of me that I just can't keep having to reckon with. You know what I mean? Like maybe that was the angle he was shooting for there. I don't think the internet's running with it like, oh man, he's just mad because he can't beat motherfuckers up no more. And it's a little more nuanced, a little more deeper than that, right? Like I think he was coming to the point of, okay, I've won 4 championships. I've been in this league for over 10 years. I've accomplished everything I want to accomplish, and somehow this sport, my competitive juices, it brings out a side of me that I don't like, and maybe it was time for him to walk away from that. So I completely understood that.
For me, that's kind of what I was talking about prior, where like when a person like him starts losing, how do you deal with that? You know what I mean? And it seems like, being on the other side of the championship, warriors, the warriors that became what they were, you know what I mean? Like it's been really difficult for him, not fighting for championships, getting your ass fucking whooped. Y'all aren't good. It seemed like it's been very difficult. And I think like it's a big difference from being a team that is on top of the world, winning fucking, like breaking win records and shit. You feel me? And going into third quarters, we're going on 20-point runs in 4 minutes. This is not that team. So you get used to that and you're comfortable with that. And now you're struggling and you're seeing the aging of the players that were once gods and yourself as well. I mean, it might be a lot to deal with, man. Yeah. Like going to being a bully to getting bullied. That's a rough, let me show these niggas that they might can whoop my ass on this court, but not like they think they can. I still got these hands for them. You know what I'm saying? I can kind of see where, why you would how you get to that point.
I think something we've discussed on this podcast before, but something Conan O'Brien said on his pod that I really changed the way I thought about a lot of this is any top-level athlete or actor or musician or anyone that you see has to be insane because otherwise they would have quit, right? Like otherwise they would have quit halfway through having this success. Draymond Green has earned $177 million in his career in the National Basketball Association. If any of us had $177 million that we'd made over the last decade and someone said, hey, we really need you to do this element of self-improvement, I mean, what's my response to that? I don't need to self-improve anything. I have $177 million. I won NBA championships. I'm good, and I think that's the thing we talk about.
I was a 6'7" rim protector, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like what the fuck you telling me I need to improve on?
Right.
I mean, we got to think about like, bro, if there's a way to become a first ballot Hall of Famer, he took the absolute hardest fucking route. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
He took the zombie mode route to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's particular crazy to decide you're going to sign up and be that good at what he was good at.
Right.
And now we expect him to just shed all that crazy it took to be good at what he did to get to where he is. That's difficult, man. Yeah. That's difficult. I can see that. So
but I think that's the thing, right? Like when you had $70 million and 2 NBA championships, that would have been it. Like for a person with a normal mentality, that would have been a good time to retire for sure. Like all of these stops on the way, it would have made sense to stop if you're talking to a therapist, right? Like if you're talking to someone that cares about your mental well-being, being a pro athlete, probably not what they would suggest that you do. But I did. So like you guys, I understood what he was saying, but also I do understand why the aggregators aggregated the way that they had to. It's just like, come on, bro. You're not, Anyway, but all right. Let's talk about the revelation. Thank you to our producer, Biko, for bringing this to our attention. Let's talk about Ayesha Curry's revelation that Steph is a foot guy. Why was this something that needed to be revealed, and why did she choose to reveal it on national television, in your opinion, gentlemen?
Look, man, I don't tell people how to move in their relationships. I don't think there's anything wrong with a dude loving his wife's feet. But I feel like Ayesha got to know how the internet works. I feel like she's a little too plugged in to not know that you are setting Steph up here, bro. Like, as soon as Steph has an off game, like I told y'all, Steph Hater 69 is going to tweet out, "Footboy went 4 for 19 tonight. Not my goat." Like you're just opening up the floodgates here. And like I said, it's not me looking down on them or shaming them. I'm just a firm believer of sometimes the shit that you love and the shit that you keep sacred, you got to keep it to your heart and not, off the internet. Yeah, she said it on TV, but we know that the internet is going to eat that shit up, right? So, y'all know I'm a prime example of that. Like, I share what I want to share. I share shit that I know is like full clown proof, like nothing, too personal or nothing that I can see getting misconstrued and people saying some slick shit about, you know what I'm saying? So I'm very, selective with what I choose to share. And I feel like Ayesha should know a little bit better because I feel like she's a little too plugged into the internet to not know that this is just going to be fodder, bro.
Also, you can share shit you're going to get clowned for, but you don't care if you get clowned for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, y'all are certain that she knows what she's doing. You know what I mean?
She spends a lot of time on the internet, bro.
I know, but
I'm not
talking about time spent. I'm talking about personality. You know what I mean? I wonder if she truly thinks that it matters what Steph Curry 6'9", or whatever the fuck, footboy. I don't think she really thinks that matters what that person says. To a particular part of the internet, it would be funny, but I don't know if that's making it to their household. You feel me? So I don't know if she cares. I think and I also think, hey, what's wrong with loving feet? You know what I mean? Why are we making fun of that? You know what I mean?
Let's not
shame the feet lovers.
I do not get the foot thing. I don't get it.
Because you're not a real foot lover, bro.
I'm not.
You're an eater.
Real footer.
You're an eater. You're not a foot guy. You focus on that tenderloin, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody had a tweet go viral a couple years ago that was like, why is it okay to like a woman's breasts or a woman's butt, but not a woman's feet? And I was like, I don't know, but it's not. I just
Questions
don't like
that need to be answered.
One of those things is not like the others, bro.
No.
I don't know. I feel like you can't be a baddie if the feet ain't on point, bro.
I like a good foot, man.
I feel like feet are crucial, bro.
Feet are important.
But to look at
a
stranger's feet
crucial
on the internet, bro.
Hey, yeah, I wouldn't take it that far.
That's not for me.
I'll say this. If I'm watching a particular type of video online, you know what I mean? And the feet ain't where they need to be, you know what I mean? We swipe it. You feel me? I got to go back to the search, bro. The algorithm did not do what it was supposed to do. You know what I mean?
I've watched plenty of those types of videos, and I would not say I've ever looked at someone's feet.
Oh, no. If the feet ain't where they need to be, we got to go somewhere else, brother. You know what I mean? I am not where I'm supposed to be on the internet. I got to go to a different location.
All right. Well, thank you, Stephen A. Jenkins. I appreciate that.
I use the nerd voice, though, not the sexy voice. You feel me? You know what I mean?
You did, but for those who are watching on youtube.com/@JenkinsandJones, they can see that you were not using the nerd face as you were discussing.
I can't use it.
He was smiling when he was talking about.
He was like, "Oh, are we finally talking about feet on Jenkins?"
That's the problem with me. I can't lie because my face gonna really tell you where I'm at with it. You know what
John,
I mean?
this is a serious question. Have you ever, once in your life or more, gone on the website WikiFeet?
No, never in my life.
Okay.
I've never gone to WikiFeet.
His face tells the truth. His face.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I could have told you, John, is not a WikiFeet guy. Are you aware that it exists?
I'm not a Google the feet. I'm not a Google the feet guy.
Okay.
I'm just like the feet got to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? The feet are just like.
I got you.
If the feet are crazy, I'm just like, I can't forget it. It's stuck in my head. You know what I mean? Now I got to go somewhere else. Y'all ain't watched Boomerang?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. On Boomerang, when Eddie pulled them sheets up and saw the feet, yeah.
And it was like, and if they was nice, he could, hey, bro, it's low-key like that. Some
So
things
she had
don't
hammer
change.
time going on with her
Hey,
toes,
hammer
which was
time,
the funniest
brother.
joke in like 1992 at
Hey,
the
low
peak of
key.
Hammer Mania.
If somebody hit it and said that now, I'd probably laugh if I'm looking at some hammer tones. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. That's
All
just
right.
Foundational.
Desperately segueing here before we go 1 inch further. All right. We had Michigan beating up on UW pretty good in the national championship game. First of all, condolences to literally every single Asian person I know who cares about sports. Was rooting so hard for UW. They just didn't have it. I'm sorry, Jackson, but sorry, Jackson. Sorry,
It's
Shar.
okay.
Sorry,
It's
Mina
okay.
Kimes. Sorry, every Asian person in Long Beach who is walking around in purple shit. Tyler's theory is that the West Coast is never going to truly be shit in college football, and I would like you to elaborate on that, Tyler.
If you watch that game, it was one in the trenches. The big boys won that, right? Like, you saw how that fucking Michigan O-line bullied Washington for 303 rushing yards. You saw how that pass rush was bullying Washington's O-line, getting to Penix. Had
They
one
were
of
beating
the
the
best
Phoenix up.
they were had one of the best quarterbacks in the country doing little play action dump offs and screens because he didn't have fucking time because the O-line couldn't hold up. And the whole thing is this. Look, I'm not shitting on the West Coast. The West Coast does football very well, but they do certain positions very well, right? Like quarterback, wide receiver, running back, defensive back, that's kind of their thing, like the speed skill positions, right? They don't have the big boys that like the Midwest has or that the South has, right? Like the South does everything right in football. The Midwest is known for their big boys and the West is known for their speed and their skills positions. And I just think that's an irrefutable fact. And we saw it play out there on the biggest stage on Monday night.
You retweeted something from George Foster where he said his homie from the West Coast said we was playing basketball. We played football for recreation. Y'all play football for life.
Yeah. Big Foster, George Foster, Georgia native, went to UGA, played in the NFL for like 10 years. And he shared a text message with me from one of his homeboys who he kept an eye on and said, this is, one of my West Coast homies who I went to the NFL with. And his West Coast homie said, yeah, it's different in the South, man. And he said, we were playing for fun. That shit, y'all were playing for life. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different, man. It really is, bro.
Yeah. So here's my slightly different take. What's surprising to me is that the big boy shit still works in college football, right? Because, and I understand the NFL, the lines are much more normalized, obviously, than in college sports. But like football, by and large, is a sport. If you go to any high school game, certainly most of the college games, a pro game, it's a skill guy's game now. You know what I mean? Like it's the quarterback and the receivers. And it's not even really the running backs as much. It's a spread look with different route concepts, and that's what everyone is playing. Like the regional stylism of when we were growing up is largely gone. If you go to any high school football team, you're going to see it's going to basically be that same look. All the top coaches, they all come from the same fucking spread route concept shit. So I was surprised, and I'm a Harbaugh fan, so I was happy for him. But like, I was just surprised to see a 305-yard rushing offense win a national championship. I really thought at some point you run into a game where the other team scores 4 touchdowns real quick, and then you're just a slow offense that's running the clock out on itself, and you're fucked. And Michigan, not only did they win, but I think I saw they were the first national champion in like 40 years to have a halftime lead in every single game that they played. They were about as dominant as could be. I know people, make the jokes about the video shit or whatever, but I agree with Tyler. Like that was big boy shit. And I guess as an old school, we grew up on the you got jacked up, era of football.
You got jacked.
That everyone
the CTE lawsuit weekly segment.
Yeah.
Right? The CTE class action lawsuit segment.
Yeah. But like we grew up watching football before, like when that was like, hell yeah, he did get jacked up. That was great. So I as an old school football guy, it was cool to me to see that brand of football win. I was just surprised that it did, to be completely honest with you.
That's what Harbaugh does, man. Midwest football. Like he turned fucking Stanford into a Smash Mouth program, right? Like this is just what he does, bro.
You also had a tweet, and that I totally agree with, because when Jim Harbaugh was coaching the Niners, I had the exact same reaction to finding out that he is John Harbaugh's little brother, about as surprised as I've ever been by a family relationship. Because if you see those two dudes around each other, there's just no question that Jim Harbaugh is the big brother.
Right. Jim Harbaugh has the big brother energy, dog. Like, saying I, as a little brother, can recognize my own. And he was not of my ilk. I always thought he was the bigger brother, right? He was way more like my brother than me, So yeah, that was just shocking to me that Jim is the little brother, bro. Because like I said, he's got big brother energy. I can't describe it, but when you see it.
Oh, for sure. John Harbaugh's talked about, like, Jim tried to drown him one time when they were teenagers. Like, they were playing at the beach, and he was just like, all right, but what if I really didn't like, you know what I mean? Like, you better tap out. Like, what if I really didn't lay you out of the water? Like, that is not little brother shit, bro.
Wait. What went on?
Well, they famously used to, like, really fight. Like, they would, like, growing up. And obviously, like, really love each other. John went to the national championship. They're still very close and everything. But, like, they were raised by a NFL quarterback who was a fucking lunatic. I think Jim Harbaugh still eats like 2 steaks and exclusively drinks milk
told me
every
about
day.
that, yeah.
Like, I think he drinks 4 glasses of milk a day, bro.
The way he talks about getting cold, like getting a cold, is like, what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
He's
just
where
like
colds go to
quintessential
die
guy.
or some shit, weird shit like that. Yeah.
But I heard an interview with John where he was talking about, you guys used to get into fights. It sounded like who would usually win, and he was like, Jim would usually win because he just was way more serious about it than me. And he was talking about they were fighting in the water at the beach. He got him underwater and held him underwater until he was like, all right, bro, let me up.
Jesus.
God damn. How you almost kill your brother on vacation, bro? Like,
Right. That's
come on,
crazy.
man. At the beach. Come on, dog. It's supposed to be good vibes there.
But it's kind of like the stories about the Gronkowski family, which were very similar. That was just like, what you're describing sounds like hell, that it was like they'd be throwing each other through walls and shit, like.
And that was just childhood for them.
Right, because they were all
that
6'6" NFL sized tight ends, like, fullbacks or whatever. So similarly with the Harbaughs, you hear these stories and you're like, Jesus Christ, man. I don't know. But salute to Jim for winning the championship.
It's like, bro, it's like one time me and my brother, we were fighting. This was one of our last few fights because once you become like, high schoolers and stuff, the stakes get different, right? Like,
fights hurt more.
Yeah. You are young adults banging, not little kids anymore, right?
Yeah.
So I was in like 10th grade. He was in like 12th grade, and we had gotten a fight, and he pushed me into the window, and the fucking window broke. Right. And this was on in our house. And I was about to fall out the window. And he comes and grabs me, to keep me from falling out. But then he flings the fuck out of me. Right. Like, yeah, I ain't gonna let nothing too bad happen to you, but it's still fuck you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
Low key, I think that's the difference between when you're younger and older. As you get older, like, nigga, if you fighting a motherfucker and there's nobody to stop y'all, this nigga might kill you, bro. You know what I mean? Like, when you fight somebody and you older, like, I'm not thinking I'm trying to beat your ass. I'm trying to fuck you up as much as I can fuck you up. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's more of a survival thing when I think as you get older. When you're younger, you're just fucking around. So I think that's a big difference. Like, if you're older, I don't think he would have let you fall out. But a regular nigga, I don't know, man. We'll let the Lord sort it out, nigga. That ain't my business. You know what I'm saying?
Who am I to get in the way of gravity?
Right. Been here much longer than I. You know what I'm saying? So
was that at your mom's place or your dad's place? You broke the window.
Yeah, that was my mom's place.
Oh, really?
Of course, all hell broke loose. Well, all hell broke loose after that. But
we broke a couch at my mom's house, and we broke a lamp that was like a lamp she really loved, and it was like we tried to blame the cat, and she was so mad that we tried to blame the cat. We were like your cat was running through here crazy, and she was like, the fucking cat ran into the lamp so hard he knocked it over. You think I'm fucking stupid? And we were like,
That's all we got. We were really banking on this one.
That's all we got. It's so accurate. It was just like, this is what the deer feels like when it's seeing the headlights get bigger. Yeah. The couch she was there for, she made the mistake of having an honest, genuine parental reaction, was she laughed when the back of the couch got broke. Like it was like the cross beam on the back.
Yeah.
my brother went down and it broke, and so like seeing a couch collapse on someone is just an inherently funny thing. And my mom was like,
she saw it. She was watching it.
Yeah, she was like, I can't really. I guess I can't really fuck your lives up after that one.
I think the actions didn't bother my mom as much as lying. Like, if I didn't lie, I mean, I might get punished, but it would be nowhere near if I lied. If I lied, bro, it was over with. If I got caught in a lie, she did not fuck with that, bro. She was on that old school shit. If you lie, you cheat. If you cheat, you steal. If you steal, you kill type shit. You feel me? That country shit. Yeah, so she was like, bro, do not lie to me, bro. So, yeah, man. I think the lie made it worse. Was worse than the actual action.
I feel
I'm
like
not gonna kill nobody because I lied, though. That's a big reach, nigga.
Yeah.
I ain't got it in me to take it, to kill nobody. Come on, man.
I feel like our parents did not foster the safe space they thought they did with that. If you lie to me, I just want you to be honest with me. No, I have been honest with you before, and I still got my ass whooped. The punishment still came down, so I have decided I'm going to at least try to lie to see if I can wiggle my way out of it, bro. Like, that was always my stance.
I mean, telling the truth, like I said, I might get my ass whooped, but it wouldn't be punishment on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe dude, nigga, I was a little. I'm thankful for some of them ass whoopings.
You were a scoundrel.
Not the beatings.
You were a scoundrel.
Not the beatings, but the ass whoopings. I deserve that. You feel what I'm saying? But nigga, if you lying, dog, nigga, like I'm get that punishment afterwards too. Just let me get my ass whooped. I can still go outside after that. You know what I mean? That punishment after, man. Yeah, I'd rather just tell the truth. Take the initial L. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah, my mom was that way too. It was like, be honest about whatever. And she would still punish us, but we definitely had the like, hey, if you're ever really in trouble, you better I'll be more angry if you don't tell me about it than if you do. And like you said, that didn't change what happened. How she would then respond to if you came to her honestly. But nothing would piss her off worse than if she knew you were lying, which is why it's like the lamp. She could have handled the lamp if we hadn't. And we tried to blame it on her cat, not our cat, too. You know what I mean?
There was layers to it. It was more than just,
Well, and she knew.
How dare you besmirch the good name of Mr. Whiskers like this?
Punky the cat, I mean, we talked about it, too. I was a liar like a motherfucker as a kid, too. And she was very, she was aware. She was probably more aware of it than I, thought that she was when I was a kid or whatever. So. But we were just talking about this because Vinny is so my son's in 5th grade and he's at that he's right prepubescent. He's at the age where he's starting to grow and this motherfucker literally has not walked through a door without touching the top of the door frame in 6 months, bro. It's constant. He's always jumping. He's always slapping stuff and so Shar's brother. Shar's brother was. It was obvious Shar's brother was gay when he was very young. He was not doing any of that type of shit. He was a very chill boy. She's never been in a house with a kid with Vinny's energy.
Gay kids don't have bounce. They don't got bounce.
Not Steve. Not him. Not him. I mean, so I'm sure some kids do. But her brother was well, we're not gonna go play catch. I'll just sit here and read. You know what I mean? So she's never I had to explain to her. I was like, no. What Vinny is doing is it's very normal. He's just every day he wakes up in a new, better body, right? He feels bigger and stronger. And so we were talking about it with my mom, and she was like, "Yeah, we just used to have to wash the walls and the ceiling all the time because those fucking kids would just anytime they went through anything."
Can I be real with y'all?
Yeah,
I did that to about 30.
Right.
I still cross summer up. I still imaginarily.
No, I mean I do that.
That ain't never gonna die, bro.
For sure. I'm saying I was jumping and touching shit at work in loafers.
Bro, I've been Euro stepping people at work for years, bro.
Right, nigga. I was it took a while for that to leave.
I told
you it takes a while to leave.
My homie Kenny in high school dunked on the principal in one of the doorways. Legend. I will never forget that. You see, right. I'm still here decades later, still
talking about
amazed. We're still talking about Kitty and the body that he caught on our principal.
Oh man,
you'll remember that long after you've forgotten the principal's name.
I love the fact that people aren't naming their kids John, maybe not Tyler as much as they used to, but motherfuckers still jumping and touching walls and shit and ceilings. I love that some things don't end. They're not losing all of them. You know what I mean? You don't need to name your kid John. It's a very basic name. You know what I mean? But as long as that kid is jumping and touching some shit, you know, we're not losing too much. They're playing video games still, but they still want to jump and touch the ceiling.
Right.
Good little balance. You know what I mean?
I sent y'all the picture of Vinny's knee yesterday. We went from he had a baseball workout, and then we went straight from that to a basketball scrimmage on asphalt. And his shit was so torn up last night.
I saw that, bro.
He came hobbling back in the house, and like Char was looking at me like, because I was a little too happy about it. You know what I mean? I was like, look at him. I was like, look at him. Like, he looks like a kid. Like, this is what it's supposed to be.
He could have made it in the 90s. He'd have still been.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
I really felt that way though, bro. Because listen, we're scrimmaging this other. I have.
We were debating time in and
time
outs recently, so things have changed.
We were just talking about that before, but I have a rule. I don't usually talk about coaching youth teams on the pod for the obvious reasons. But we played this team last night, bro, and like, you'd be surprised, 10, 11-year-old boys, how little contact some of them want there to be in a basketball game against another team. You know what I mean? And that's so I was happy because Vinny got knocked down like 4 times, and every time he got up, he tripped. I probably shouldn't have said that. He tripped one of the kids that tripped him. You know what I mean? And like, but he scraped his knee. He was bleeding down it. He got up. They're trying to stop the game. He got up. He's like, fucking, like, let's fucking go. Like, let's just play. Yeah. So when he got home, I was like, that's my boy. We're not all, they're not all just glued to the iPad and like, Dad, this kid bumped me. Like, whatever.
Bro, so. You talking about Vinny trimming somebody and you being proud or you not being happy about it. My favorite thing, my sister was like the leading scorer in the history of the high school. You know what I went to, bro. Fucking baller. My favorite basketball player ever, bro. The proudest I was of her ever. She's hit game winners from 30 feet behind the volleyball line, all that shit. Was when somebody tripped her and she kicked them in their head. Somebody tripped her and she looked at the ref, saw the ref's back was turned and kicked that motherfucker in their head. And I was like, that's my motherfucking sister. So I do get where that would come from. You know what I mean? I do get where that would come from. So you don't have to feel bad about that.
Vinny did some slick shit too. This kid had tripped him twice, and it wasn't intentional. You know what I mean? They're just running as fast as they could on asphalt.
Yeah.
The kid's also in the middle of a growth spurt. I'm sure their legs got tangled up. He went down twice. But I noticed 2 plays later, their legs accidentally got tangled up in the other direction, and the other kid got tripped and scraped himself up. At the end of the quarter, Vinny came over, and I was like, "You did that shit on purpose?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, of course. The fuck? He had me fucked up, Dad.
You gave him this. You gave him the space for honesty.
Yeah,
good for you too. Good for you too. Congratulations to you both.
All right, let's. Okay. I don't. This is not going to turn into a regular segment because it's profane or whatever. But I just want to say, Aaron Rodgers, suck a dick. I truly suck a fucking dick, dude. Did y'all see this fucking clip of this man yesterday?
Yeah.
That was good stuff. Go on, Mike. I'm not trying to interrupt you. I'm not trying to interrupt
Who's our suck a dick of the week?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. It crossed my mind.
Who can suck a dick this week?
Keep going, Mike. That was good stuff. I'm not trying to interrupt.
Who's gobbling cock this week? Let's find out on the new Jenkins and Jonez.
Who's the real eater this week?
Aaron Rodgers,
the real eater of the week,
is going on national television to complain about being canceled and censored for something he should be canceled and censored for saying, which he's successfully pulled off the grift of getting everyone to talk about cancel culture when, like, yes, you should not be allowed to talk to millions of people when you are putting false conspiracy theories about other people being pedophiles out there. Like, that is something you should be canceled for. And yet you are being invited onto ESPN's like top show in the day to do the exact same fucking thing again. And I don't understand how these people are so needing to be aggrieved that they can go speak to the biggest audience you could speak to on daytime sports television about how no one will let you talk. I don't fucking get it, and I don't get why so many people willingly fucking fall for it.
Bro, that man is crying about being canceled and censored on the leading sports network in the world that's under the Disney and ABC umbrella. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? I'm just at the point like this, bro. If you don't see the grift that he's trying to pull off here, like, it is so fucking blatant. He has been on the Pat McAfee Show for damn near 5 years every week, right? He's been saying, whatever loony conspiracy shit, and we've just all been like, this fucking guy's crazy, whatever, and we leave it at that. And now, Pat McAfee gets the motherfucking ESPN deal, and he decides to, put out, harmful conspiracy theories not rooted in fact about ABC's biggest fucking personality, right, with Jimmy Kimmel. Then, the next week he's taking shots at the ESPN fucking like senior vice presidents and shit, right? Like, it's so blatant that now he's trying to go this route where he knows that he's crossing lines, where it's not even on some freedom of speech shit that he's trying to play off here. He's trying to turn himself into a pariah because there's gonna be shit coming down where they're like, bro, this is conflict of interest that you're doing here by talking about our network and our network's talent the way you're doing here right now, right? Like, you cannot say that shit. Like, we could not be out here making baseless fucking claims about Draymond Green and expect not to hear from the seats at the volume, right? You know what I'm saying? We could not be out here talking shit about Colin that's not rooted in fact and expect for some shit not to come down on us. And this is the route that he's going. He's daring ESPN and ABC to do something with him so he can play the whole self-pariah, I am being canceled and silenced for my opinions. And it's so fucking blatant, dude.
At what point does Pat have to cut ties? I've seen more of that go viral. He had the naysayer clip. Genius. You know what I mean? But I've seen congratulations, that man. But I've seen a lot of the mostly what I've seen is like Aaron Rodgers clips on social. You know what I mean? So at what point does Pat have to cut ties? And I know that's been a big part of his show. I'm just interested in that.
The extra element of it, which we didn't even discuss, is he's not only on the show, he's also compensated. Like, there's the news reporting. He's been paid over $1 million to be on Pat McAfee's show. So, like, you're effectively an employee. And, I get the talking about someone within the company that Tyler's talking about, but also just you're not allowed to say that. Like, you're not allowed to just make up shit about people that's that foul and get away with it. Like, it's crazy to me. And like I said, if LeBron James was playing basketball and in the middle of the game the whole time he's dribbling and he's just yelling at the crowd, they won't let me play fucking basketball. I'm not allowed to play basketball tonight. He dunks on someone's. I wish they'd let me play basketball, but in this fucking country, I guess I can't play basketball anymore. Like, he would be made fun of for the rest of his life. So why, if you're on a national TV channel saying you're not that you're being censored, is that something that is like a conversation we're having and not a like, are you that stupid that you think you're being censored while you're on ESPN on live television right now? Like, he should be regarded as a mouth breather for that. You know what I mean? Like, we should be thinking like, wow, we should get Aaron Rodgers some help, like tying his shoes or whatever. This should not be the like debate.
Y'all are more familiar with Pat's show than I am. Is Pat's show partially successful due to having Aaron Rodgers on there?
I think that's a big part of because of what you said. Like, that got him out to a different level for sure.
Okay, so that's probably why he hasn't cut ties as of yet, because Aaron Rodgers is part of the success. I didn't know if he was already successful and then Aaron Rodgers hopped on because it was a successful show.
It's a little bit of that. It was pretty successful, and Rodgers has continued to level them up.
I would say it's kind of been the traditional what has happened with all podcast media. He had the vibe of like, oh, these are informed, ex-pro athletes, but it's very much like friends talking, which was what podcasts used to be. And then it was like, well, what if we get a mega celebrity on the podcast?
To be clear, it's a great show outside of the Aaron Rodgers nonsense.
Okay.
It's very good, and it's earned success by Pat McAfee. By all accounts, a very good guy. But this element of it is sort of shrouding that.
Well, Tyler. I mean, I'm not talking about Pat McAfee at all. It's just the Aaron Rodgers shit to me. But is it you listen to the show, Jackson?
I don't regularly, but I know I do sometimes, and I know that it's very, very well respected by a lot of very smart people.
Okay, my best friend listens to it all the time. I always give him shit for it. I listen to Pardon My Take, which is a Barstool podcast. He gives me shit for that, and then I give him shit for you listen to fucking anti-vax shit all day, dog. Like, so white dudes have one. All white people have one. They're just like,
you're allowed one as a treat.
Yeah, you gotta give me one.
That's a treat. What?
But yeah, but bro, you are not being censored because you said some baseless, harmful shit that was not rooted in fact and we were told to walk that shit back. That's not being censored. That's someone telling you shut your weird ass up for spreading lies, bro. It's a big fucking difference. And yeah,
but no one even did that. Like that's my point. It's like no one even did that.
They just didn't back what he said. They said they said they thought differently. You know what I'm saying, than him.
All right, naturally, like 45 seconds after we recorded this segment, Pat McAfee announced that Aaron Rodgers will not be returning to the Pat McAfee Show for the duration of the NFL season, aka about 4 weeks. Tyler, the grift worked.
It did. He pulled the motherfucking grift off. Now this starts the whole I was canceled tour that he's probably going to be going on. Might be a Fox News appearance, might be a Tucker Carlson appearance. But either way, like I said, the grift was so fucking, it was so fucking blatant, so easy to see. And he achieved it. He has turned himself into a pariah as he wanted to.
Well, we found out how important he was to the show. Didn't take long to get that answer. Get the fuck out of here. You ain't ADM's important, nigga. Peace.
Well, John, you said it after he made his comments on the show, earlier this week. Like you could just kind of see on Pat McAfee's face, like
he was like,
yeah, we had a different conversation before we went on air, buddy.
The clip that they showed, he was like, he looked confused, like, you took a left turn when we supposed to take a right, my boy. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Anyway, whether on
right
Pat
decision was made.
Yes, whether on Pat McAfee's show or not, Aaron Rodgers can still suck a dick.
Bye.
Bye. You guys saw the video clip of Jonathan Majors?
Oh. What's funny is I was talking to my other group chat, my St. Louis niggas, and they big on that Jonathan Majors shit. They talking about all the juicy shit be, all the tea being spilt in the and that motherfucker. Anyway, so like I was like, bro, this nigga finna cry. He gonna cry at some point, and he had to fight tears back because he's been treated so. Nigga, shut the fuck up, bro. And then he pulled the Coretta shit. That's what
I wanted to talk about was when he's talking about Megan Good and he said, she's held me down like, and then you can actually see.
You knew it was coming. It was like he's gonna say the thing. He's gonna say it's coming.
Well, y'all made fun of me, but it's true. She held me down like Coretta. You know what I mean? Like that's what it felt like. You know what I mean? I can't ignore the fact that she was my Coretta Scott King, nigga.
He's an entertainer. He can't help but do the callback. He's like, I know they want to hear it. I know they do.
That's what the people are here for.
I think he can't help but pull the crazy. I think it was just like he just helped, but he has to. He just can't help but be crazy because he doesn't know how crazy that sounds. I think he truly doesn't understand how ridiculous of a person he is. You know what I mean?
It's so funny.
I like Jackson's theory that it's just good improv structure.
Yeah, like that's a man who's put in the time. I'm not saying he's not a good actor. He knows how to get the most out of a scene.
Yeah, I like anyone comparing because of course the comparing her to Coretta is ludicrous, but of course the even more ludicrous thing is it's like you're comparing yourself to Martin Luther King Jr.
Yes.
Maybe there's a handful of people in history in this country who could justifiably do that, and none of them would ever actually compare themselves to Martin Luther
Nobody's
King
living.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's even when you had you have historic history making people, you have John Lewis. John Lewis would never have said I was like Martin Luther King. He would never have said that, right?
Right.
So it's the idea that Jonathan Majors, of all fucking people, bro, it's when they wouldn't let me be king, because that was just like what Martin Luther King Jr. went through.
Dog, Bernice King, the daughter of Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King, hopped out there and was like, my mom is not a prop. She is not someone to hold you up. She was a force, right? She tweeted that out and posted an article that she wrote a few years back kind of detailing her feelings on her mother. And I'm just like, bro, I just feel so bad for Bernice because for one, people always got your daddy fucked up. Right? White people have turned Martin Luther King into, hey, Martin Luther King said stop being mean to me. Right? That's what everything they boil MLK down to. You feel me? And she's always setting motherfuckers straight for having her dad fucked up. And now she got to set motherfuckers straight for having her mom fucked up. I'm like, God damn. I know she's like, bro, can I get a fucking break, please? But yeah.
Yes.
But the funniest shit, the funny shit that I just cannot get out my mind is when they said after that incident happened, they said Jonathan Majors hopped out the cab and just like took off running in Manhattan.
Did you see the video?
There's video of it.
There's this nigga looks like a maniac.
I need to see it. I need to see
Bro,
the video.
he's sprinting. He's sprinting in hard bottoms. He's sprinting in hard bottoms.
Because
go ahead.
I was going to say, because I can't just imagine. Imagine you're walking down the street of Manhattan 3 a.m. You see fucking Jonathan Majors
running like a rock'em sock'em robot,
right?
You know what I mean?
And a white woman running behind him, and you're like, what the hell is that? Was that Sarah Jessica Parker? Where the fuck are the cameras? Like, is this some shit?
Bro,
what did I just walk into?
Jackson just did this. He runs like the kid that runs like this, nigga. The kid
he one of them.
He ran like he was in the Avengers, nigga. He really think he a superhero, bro. You know what I mean? I'm like, I saw that video. And people were like, you saw the video of him running? We was talking about that at Christmas. I'm like, look at this. Running from what? Who? He looks insane. It was so ridiculous. Please look it up. Please look it up. It's so ridiculous, man.
All right.
It's
that's
just
all
as
the time
ridiculous you think it would be.
Yeah. Yes. That's all the time we got for today. We do not have a hippity hop this week because, as Tyler said to me when I texted him, January, a dry ass time in hip hop history.
Yeah, bro. No, music has historically always been dry in January. Nobody releases in January, bro.
Yeah. So hippity this week in hippity hop shall return.
It shall.
Hey, if y'all need some new music, listen to Kenny Mason. That motherfucker hard as hell. He cold as. I just got hip like a month ago. Been fucking with him heavy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, this
nigga
Dracula
Christian shit go crazy.
That shit crazy. His but like Christian Curia and this nigga named Kamari, he sounds like he reminds me of. I think I sent it to you, Jackson. But he sounds like what's your boy name? Blonde. What's his name?
Frank Ocean.
Frank Ocean. Yeah, I forget everybody's name.
We old
Frank
as
Ocean.
hell, bro. How you forget
No,
Frank Ocean
we ain't old. I'm old, nigga.
What that boy that do? The boy that sing blonde? The blind boy.
What's that nigga name? Frank Ocean. Yeah, that's some cool ass motherfuckers making shit, but it ain't nothing that dropped this month. Like you said, it's dry as fuck.
I turned into an audiobook person this year.
Oh, really?
I'm an audiobook and a half deep because I just felt like I was listening to too many podcasts, and so I trimmed it down. Huh?
Why? What's the too many podcasts? What was the threshold that you crossed to get you there like that?
Well, so when I work out, I usually listen to podcasts. And when I'm done with my podcast for the week, I'll listen to music. And I realized I was like, I've not really been listening to music very much. You know what I mean? I was like, the podcast
music don't hit the same, bro. Somebody said that music. I forget who it was. That music hits the best when you are like in like middle school and high school,
right?
And it'll never sound the same.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a point at my age when my mom and stepdad started listening to. They stopped listening to new shit, and it wasn't because they didn't necessarily like it. You know what I mean? I think it was because like you get to a point where like this music doesn't feel. I'm not gonna like it. Nowhere near the shit that I really love. So I'd much rather listen to old shit. And I don't know if I'm not there. I'm still interested in what's going on.
You listen to more new music than any person in our age bracket that I know.
I'm extremely curious, but the shit that I be playing over and over,
making yourself do it.
It's a lot of older shit now, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to videos. I was watching like Maya's video. Maya was the one. Lord have mercy. That was the one light skinned woman that snuck through the cracks.
Yeah, that's a classic right there.
Man, bro,
that is a vintage 1997, bro. She been bad for like 26 years.
Crazy, you hear me? Still got the cankle sitting crazy. But anyway, I was watching Maya's video, like the one with Cisco and shit. Like I've been watching all like LL Cool J Lounge, and I'm going back watching that shit, bro. For the last 4 or 5 months, I'll have days where I'm just playing all old shit.
Right. Well, so what you said actually is exactly true. Like I was listening to music when I was working out, and I was like, the reason I like listening to podcasts or whatever is if I'm running or I'm doing like cardio, I need something that like I can just sort of turn my brain off with.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like listening to music. It just I was doing the thing where I was like, surely I've been running for another 5 minutes, and I looked down and I was like, it's been 20 seconds. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
no.
So I was like, okay, but I don't want to go back to listen to more podcasts because I just felt like it was like a little bit empty calories. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay,
and so
okay.
I was like, let
You
me
listen
try
to all the
audiobooks.
heaters.
And I listened to Kenny Smith's book. Usually when I listen to an audiobook, it's like a memoir or something where it's like, it would make more sense to listen to this person tell me about their life than it would to, read it in my voice or whatever. So I read that, or I listened to that, John, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, we've had this conversation before.
And then I'm listening to a book called Sapiens right now, which is like a history of humanity.
I tried to read that shit. It's
Yeah.
way too dense. I made it like 100 pages in, and that shit was like, every sentence was a fact, like a fucking, it's crazy.
It's been great
But
to listen to. I'm 2 hours into it. I have no idea how many pages that is, but I've been enjoying it greatly.
This is talking about like the different forms of humans prior to the okay, yeah, it was
Did I ever
Go
tell y'all I took a couple college classes when I was in middle school?
No,
They had like a charter program for people who like got certain test scores or whatever. So for the summer between my 7th to 8th grade year, we went to Cal State LA, me and like 2 other kids from the school. And for whatever reason, the class I think because I wanted to take a dinosaur class because I was a fucking child and should not have been going to college. And they obviously like Cal State Los Angeles does not have like dinosaurs 101. So I signed up for a human anthropology class because I was that kind of sounds like paleontology. So this book has been helpful because I remember Australopithecus and like I remember all of the different like human ancestors or like not ancestors but co-evolutionary things, and I was like, oh, this book is great because I have all these words floating around in my head for 25 years for no fucking reason, and now that I'm an adult with a fully formed brain, I can actually like put this into place as to what this means. You know what I mean?
I thought that shit was like barbershop talk when people would talk about different forms. Because I actually heard it at a barbershop where my barber was telling me that like there was different like.
Oh no, that's real. It's theorized
that
there was a Homo sapien versus Neanderthal war.
Yeah,
we
killed the Neanderthals, right? We
Yeah.
killed them off. You feel me? Like I did not know there was like I didn't know Neanderthal was different from human in certain ways. I thought it was just like the version of Homo sapien that was before Homo sapien. You know?
Well,
what I mean?
because we've all seen the evolution of man thing, right?
Yeah,
goes
that's
from
what I thought
the
it
great
was.
Apes to the people. Well, that was kind
Yeah.
of the like lie that was like that we believe was like because even in science there was this there's the term heliocentric, right? Like even in science you thought like, oh well, human beings were like the point. Everything was like the point of it was to produce us. And it's like, no, we happen to have won a genocidal battle with Neanderthals. Had they won, the whole point of the world would have been Neanderthals, not Homo sapiens or whatever.
And that's what made me think about like, dude, we won a war where we just killed them all off, and we're the ones that are left. How would we live a peaceful existence? And if that's how we got to where we're at currently.
Well, the other thing, and Tyler, I think you would really like this book. I literally like the first part of it. That's what they were talking about, was like how we kind of ended up like on top, and then the ramifications of the actual animal that we are, right? Like the programming that we have, how that fits into the world. So that it's organized by 4 sections. The first is like the cognitive revolution, which is like how our brains won us the war with Neanderthals, etc. But also the genetic discovery that like a lot of people have Neanderthal DNA, like, so they were killed off, but also to some extent there was some interbreeding and everything, which is kind of also a crazy thing to to really think about. But like
they were like human, they were very human-like, so it wasn't like
they weren't that human-like though. I mean, like,
they weren't?
I mean, if you're a tree, you think that chimpanzees and Homo sapiens look a lot alike, right? Like we have 4 limbs, we have hair in roughly the same places, ear. Like
for me, I thought it
in
was
the
like
same
different
places.
trees, like a different type of tree.
Neanderthals were like hobbits, yo. They were like 5'2" at the tallest, big ass wide feet and shit. Like
very different facial structure.
But they had tits and ass though, right?
So does a chimpanzee.
No, not the same. I'm talking about tits and ass.
I'm talking about that Neanderthal ass.
They had feet, John, if that's what you're asking.
Man,
yeah.
we could go. Let's get off this spot.
No, The only other thing I want to say, when you were talking about what type of animal like would we have to be to have won that war, that was one of the other things that he talked about, was like every other apex predator, everything else that was at the top of the food chain took millions of years to evolve to that place. And so nature had a chance, its ecosystem had a chance to put in checks and balances against it, which obviously the global ecosystem hasn't had a chance to do with us. But also, those animals have the confidence through generations of being on top that we don't have. Like, and that's one of the reasons our brains are run so much by fear and anxiety, is we are not that far in evolutionary terms evolved from you could be killed and eaten at any moment. You know what I mean? Which I think was a really fascinating thing too. Because obviously, like, fear, anxiety, trying to make a tribe and keep other people out of the tribe, those are like, that's responsible for like most of the horrible shit that's happened in the history of our species. You know what I mean? So,
bro, Homo sapiens are only like 250,000 years old. Like that is a blip on like the evolutionary scale. Like that's how 250,000 years is like how long it would take a frog's foot to get webbed in like evolutionary terms. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we've 250,000 years is a fucking blip of a blip on the evolutionary scale.
Dinosaurs were alive for 165 million years. Like we are like, it's like a blip is like almost an exaggeration. like what we are in the history of life. All right. That's all the time we got. We'll be back on Saturday with the Gridiron Gals for our NFL playoffs preview. And then our next regular episode dropping on Monday. We will see y'all then. Hope everyone has a great rest of their week. Bye.
Bye.
Y'all wouldn't fuck a Neanderthal?